Welcome to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast, a space where we break free from tradition, creating a wedding day totally authentic to you and your love story. I'm Abby, UK wedding planner and owner of Elegance Unlimited, here to help you plan a wedding day that feels uniquely yours. Join me for planning tips and advice, endless inspiration, and a pocket full of calm within the chaos that is wedding planning. Consider me a trusted friend, here to walk you through it all. From injecting fun splashes of personality into your day, to reinventing tradition completely, all whilst focused on building a day bespoke to your dreams and desires. I cannot wait to get started, so let's get planning. Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast. My name is Abby. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining. Genuinely so grateful for everyone who listens, new, old, returning. I know that the wedding podcasts are a bit of a weird one because you don't listen to them like forever. You're probably listening to it for a season of your life. So if you are in that season of life and you are wanting to plan a wedding, you are currently planning a wedding, or maybe you've just finished planning a wedding and you've got a little bit of the wedding blues, thank you so much for joining, truly, whatever the reason. We are going to get straight on into it today with another episode. I'm really excited to talk about today bridesmaids' duties. We're going to talk a little bit about the bridal party, the bridesmaids, what they are. What are they supposed to do? What are they there for? What can they help with in the wedding process? Because I feel like there's a lot of wedding politics on like what should be done, what shouldn't be done. And if you're coming into this process and maybe you've not been married before, so you don't know what a bride might need, and you're just going off maybe what you've heard or seen on social media or in films or whatever else, I just thought it might be a helpful one to talk about. And if you are a bridesmaid, you're about to be a bridesmaid, this will be helpful. If you are a bride, wondering what you can ask of your bridesmaids and what they should be helping you with, then hopefully this will be a helpful one. So we are going to get straight on into things today. As always, if you are not yet subscribed, if you're not following, if you haven't given us a 5-star rating, we only accept 5 stars around here. If you haven't done that yet, then you should really go and do that first, and then we will get straight on into the episode. I'm so grateful for all of your love on the podcast, all of your follows and comments and lovely ratings. I am beyond grateful, but that's just my little note to remind you, if you haven't yet done it, then please do it. And we will get straight on into it now. So, bridesmaids, what are they supposed to do? I think this is a big question, and I think it's going to be different for everyone, right? It's going to be a different process for every bride because every bride needs something different. But in general, I wanted to talk a little bit first about what does being a bridesmaid mean? What is that? What does it mean? Is it just a title, or is there more to it? From my perspective, your bridesmaids, more often than not, are your people. These are the people you surround yourself with, that you choose to be by your side in the wedding planning process and on the wedding day. These are your girls. These are your women. Typically it's women, okay? Sometimes we have the bridesman, and I'm huge fan of that. You know I am. But typically it's like your sisters or your cousins or your friends from school or friends that you've met in later in life that you're just like, oh my gosh, we are just inseparable. You know, these are your people that you choose to be by your side and support you in this really big, exciting journey. And I love it. I do. I have opinions about various things to do with groomsmen and bridesmaids and all those things. Of course I do. Everybody has their own views on them. In general, I think it's a really nice idea to have these as your people that you want to spend your day with. So a reminder that it's an honor to fill that role. It's not an obligation. You don't have to accept if someone asks you to be their bridesmaid or their maid of honor, because I think it can take up a lot of time and energy sometimes, depending on what that bride is asking of you and what they need of you. And if you feel like you're fully at capacity in life, then it's a lot to ask, right? But at the same time, it is an honor and such an amazing way to make more memories and be a really special part of this journey for someone. So yeah, both sides of the coin. I think being a bridesmaid is really lovely. Also, a reminder that it's okay if you don't have that traditional setup, you know. more often than not, people, sometimes people have loads of bridesmaids and they just want loads, and it's like a huge fun vibe for them. They've got loads of people they want to ask. Some people maybe have one or two people or just one person, and that's completely fine. Sometimes people don't have anyone that's actually super close to them that they want to ask to be a bridesmaid. So they go, for a couple of family members instead. Or, really going off on one now, sometimes you've got so many friends that you're like, I couldn't possibly choose between all of you, so I'm going to have none of you, and I'm just going to choose my cousin instead, or my niece to be a flower girl or something, and I'm not going to do any. Like, that's completely fine. If you don't want to do the traditional setup of like, here are my bridesmaids, it's completely fine. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there at the start. I feel like that's my little disclaimer for the day. Now, once you've been asked to be a bridesmaid, I feel like it's that really exciting time where you're like, oh my gosh, yes, of course, I'll be your bridesmaid. How fun, how exciting. And then it's like, what now? Like, am I supposed to do anything now that I'm a bridesmaid? Is there anything that I'm supposed to be doing? I guess I'll just wait for the bride to ask me. And maybe they never ask you because they either feel like they can't, maybe they're a bit nervous too, and they feel bad, or maybe they just don't know what is appropriate. I say appropriate lightly there. What is appropriate to ask you to do? Like, what's the norm? And I know we don't often work on norms on this podcast. It's very much like a you can do what you want, there's no rules type thing. But I think sometimes a little bit of guidance can be helpful. So we're going to talk about it a little bit today. What might be helpful from a bridesmaid during the wedding planning process. So let's talk about the wedding process first, the wedding planning journey. You've got your couple, your whoever they are, a bride and a bride, a groom and a groom who might still have bridesmaids, or a bride and a groom, or whatever they decide to label themselves as. They are planning their wedding. Okay, it's an exciting process, it's a stressful process, it's all of the feelings kind of processed. As a bridesmaid, what should you or could you be doing during this process to support them, to join in on things? This is the other side of the coin. Maybe it's that you just want to be in on everything and you're like, actually, I can't be involved in everything because it's not my wedding. So what can I be involved in? What can I jump in on and be a part of and have some fun in? So let's go through it. Firstly, I would say any kind of fittings, dress trying ons for the bride or for the bridesmaids, you should be going to those if the bride is asking you to. And I will preface all of this by saying that if the bride wants you to be there, then be there. If they don't want to, and I've said this before, sometimes the bride just wants to go to a dress fitting on their own, or they just want to take their mum, or they just want to take their sister, or just one of their bridesmaids, because trying on a dress is a really personal experience and you don't need too many opinions there if they are going to overwhelm you. So sometimes the case is that they're actually like, I don't need too many voices, I don't need too many opinions, I'm going to go by myself. But sometimes this person getting married will be like, actually, no, I want my people there. I want your opinions. I want you to just be there for me, not even to have an opinion, just to celebrate with me in finding this perfect outfit for the day, my beautiful dress that I'm going to wear. And it's really important for me to be there, whether it's for the initial trying on and choosing, or whether that is for follow-up like alterations. I've done that before as a bridesmaid. I've been to the dress choosing and trying on section. And then after that, I've had a message from my friend that said, I've got a dress fitting tomorrow and no one can come with me. Please, will you come with me? Absolutely. As a bridesmaid, I feel honored to be invited, but also you need me there. As a friend, you need me there. I will be there. So it's those kind of things, any fittings, whether they say, oh, do you want to come to our cake tasting with us? Or could you come to this wedding fair? I've been to a wedding fair with friends before where they've said, could you come with me? Because there's no one else to come with me. And I really just could use another input. And plus it'll be fun. This is the thing as well. It's not like a job. It's not a chore. Wedding stuff is fun, right? So if you're getting invited along to a wedding fair or to dress fittings or to cake tasting, or do you want to come look around the venue and see where we might be able to help me decorate things? Then yes, jump at that opportunity because it's going to be so much fun. And I think that could be a really nice thing to do. Obviously if the bride and the couple wants you there and it's important to them, then yeah, definitely. Another part of this role that I see as being important is to offer advice and inspiration and guidance where needed if you are asked. Okay, often I preach about my couple's not, you shouldn't be taking unsolicited or unwanted advice and opinions because you don't need extra noise. But if your couple is coming to you, if your bride is coming to you, or your friend or whoever, and saying, listen, could you just help me choose between these, or could you help me find some options for this, or what do you think about this? Give your genuine honest advice. Be kind, be polite, of course, But think about them and what makes sense for them. This is the thing I always say as well, because it's very easy for one of my friends to come up to me or a couple and to say, what do you think about this? And I could give my honest opinion, say, oh no, I don't like that for me. But actually for them, it might make loads of sense. And I could say, oh, that's not for me, but actually for you, I think that's great. And I love that idea. And what about we do this? And how about we do this? I think from a bridesmaid's perspective, when you are offering advice and passing judgment, for lack of a better term, I think you should be considering it from the couple's perspective and what makes sense for them. It's not about you. It's not about what you like and what you think might look best or what you think you might enjoy the most. It's about them as a couple. So if you know them, which I should hope you do, you'll be able to say, oh, I think this works better for you. Like, I love both ideas. Or I would prefer this if it was me, but I think for you, this will be perfect. And it actually suits your personalities better and it suits the tone of your day better. Offering advice and just being there for guidance can be such an important part of the process, because I've said it already, wedding planning is stressful. It's overwhelming. It's exciting. Of course, it's a fun journey and it's a luxury to be on this wedding planning journey because, you know, weddings are expensive and it's a big process and not everyone chooses to do that. I understand that. But I think it's underestimated sometimes how much a kind word or a bit of advice or just being like a listening ear. I think this is probably my next point. Being a listening ear and letting that person talk about their wedding, I would consider to be part of the role of being a bridesmaid. I know sometimes it can feel like, oh my God, all they do is talk about the wedding. But at the same time, this is such a short chapter of their life that they are never going to go through again. Once they are married, most of the time, people aren't doing that again too often. Of course, there are many people that get married more than once. I can understand that. But for a lot of people, the intention going into it is like, this is it. I'm not going to do this again. So it's so exciting. And I just want to enjoy this process and make the most of it. And you are so excited as a couple getting married. Sometimes it can feel like the voices around you aren't quite up to the level of excitement you want them to be. And it's understandable. Everyone's got their own things going on. But sometimes I think just being a listening ear and being like, you crack on, talk about your wedding. Like once it's over, we will have the space to talk about all these other things again. Of course, I don't think that every single conversation 24 hours a day should be about the wedding. There must be space to talk about other things and check in and have that regular friendship or relationship, you know, if it's a family member or whatever going on too. But let them talk about their wedding. Let them enjoy it. And you just be there and be like, yeah, you can talk about it as much as you like. Because for me, to see that excitement on a family or friend or one of my couple's faces is like, crack on, talk about it. I love a wedding, so I'm probably a bit biased, but I think let them talk about it. I also think that helping with like DIY or crafts, if they are making their invitations or place names or something, or maybe there's like something you're really good at and they're like, oh, we know you've got gorgeous handwriting. Would you mind doing our place names for us for the tables? If you get asked to do that, yeah, say yeah. Be like, of course, yeah. I think that helping with any task that you can within reason, you know, you don't want to be like, oh, could you just plan the whole wedding for us, please? But if you're being asked to support in a certain way that would help them, I think that's completely reasonable. And I think that's fun. And I think it's also part of that process. You know, you get to spend time together. It's just a different thing. Like I say, once the wedding's over, you won't be doing these things again. You'll be back to doing your normal coffee dates and things like that. But if you can be like, yep, sure, I'm going to come over. We'll get some pizza in. We'll have a drink. We'll put on a movie and we will work through doing your name place things together. Or maybe they're crafting something else. Maybe they're making bunting, or maybe they're making their favors themselves, or maybe they're doing something that you can hop in on that task and help with. Get all the bridesmaids together for a night to help with things. I think that's a really nice idea. So I would consider that part of the bridesmaid's role. If you are asked to support with anything like that, then yeah, I see no reason to say no. The hen party as well. This is another thing on my list. Planning the hen party, whether you traditionally, okay, it's been the maid of honor that plans your hen party and kind of gets the bridesmaids to support with that in other ways. I think with where we're at now in today's society, if you have a friend that's really good at organizing, that's one of your bridesmaids, she's not your maid of honor, you could say, could you take the lead on that? Or could you support heavily with that? Or I want all of my bridesmaids to have that input on planning the hen party. Sometimes a bride will plan her own hen do. That's completely normal if she wants to do that. But a lot of the time, it's a fun thing to have as a surprise. So as bridesmaids, find out what they want to do to a degree, get some inspo. What might you like to do? Do you want to go out? Do you want to stay in? Do you want to dress up? What do you fancy doing? Get a little bit of the lowdown on what vibe they might like. Do they want to dress up? Do they want to go out somewhere? Do they want something chilled? Do they want loads of people? Find that out. And then part of your role as a bridesmaid is to help them and plan that for them so they get a really nice fun day or weekend or whatever you decide to do. In general, I feel like just being a bridesmaid, you're just there to be like their hype person, be excited for them, like help them through this journey. Like it can be quite isolating, I think, with all the inspiration out there. Even as a couple, you're trying to keep everyone happy and please everyone and plan your day at the same time in a way that feels authentic to you. Sometimes just having someone be like, I'm so excited for you, genuinely means the world. So be their hype people, be excited, be involved in the conversations if they want you to be involved in them, and just be a friend. I think that's what it comes down to. We're not asking for the crazy stuff here. You know, it's nothing out of the ordinary. You're just being a friend. This is basic stuff. Spending time together, listening to them, offering advice, being there when you need them to be. You're being a friend. And I think that's the most simple way I can explain it. Now, on the wedding day itself, this is the big day. This is what it's all come down to. We have chosen our wedding party, whether it's bridesmaids or even groomsmen. This stuff kind of all applies to both sides. These are your people that are here to support you on the day. So what, as a bridesmaid, might you be expected to do on the wedding day? Let's talk about it. From the get-go, you want to be making sure that this person is relaxed and calm. We are not adding extra stress to their plate. We are thinking about them. This is a day for them. You need to like fully take yourself out of the picture. If you're like, oh, I don't want to do that, or this, oh, I don't like that. Within reason, unless they're asking you to do something dangerous or truly upsetting, this is their day. So we are keeping them relaxed. We are keeping them calm. We are letting them enjoy themselves. We are making sure they are eating and staying hydrated from the get-go. Most brides and couples will know this already, but remind them, because the day is just like, it just like sweeps past you. It completely disappears. Make sure there's a good breakfast on hand. Make sure there's lots of water. We are essentially like their well-being person for the day, taking care of them, making sure they're happy and comfortable. Have you drank enough? We don't want headaches on the wedding day, particularly if you start drinking a little bit of Prosecco or a bit of, I don't know what you want to drink first thing in the morning on your wedding day. Hydrate first and continue hydrating even after the drinking starts, because you don't want to get to the ceremony and already be like, oh, I've got a headache and I feel like I'm getting a pre-hangover. We don't want that. Okay, so remember that. In general, just keep an eye on them. Is there a stray piece of hair in, before they're about to get a picture taken, that you can just pop that down? Have they got lipstick on their teeth? Fluff the dress, typically like a bridesmaid's duty. I do it a lot of the time for my couples on the wedding day. But if you're there ready to fluff the dress for a picture, maybe after the ceremony they're getting some pictures done, you can be there, fluff the dress, hold their drink whilst they're getting some pictures done. You are like the sidekick on the day. What do you need from me? If something needs doing, something needs taking from one person to another person on the day, the groom needs something and I've got it in here, but I can't go because I don't want to see him before the ceremony. So I'll take that for you, no problem. A question needs asking to the venue, I will go find them, I'll ask it for you. You are this person on the day that is just making their life easier and giving them the space to relax and be like, oh, my people have got this covered, I think bridesmaids do take on certain duties on the day, and this is within reason, right? I'll always suggest to a couple, if there are loads and loads of things that need doing on the day, there's only so much you can really ask your wedding party to do, because you want them to enjoy the day with you. You don't want them running around working all day. The odd thing, could you move this from here to there? Could you go and put the reserved seating signs on down in the ceremony? Could you make sure that my bouquet has been taken out of water? Could you actually put the bouquet back in water after the ceremony on the table, because I want to keep it fresh? I'm getting it, what's it called when you get it preserved in something afterwards? So I want to make sure it's really looked after. Little tasks like that. Could you make sure that you remind me after the ceremony? Can you come grab me so we can go to the toilet and I want to change into my second dress? Whatever. Little tasks, okay? It is our duty as a bridesmaid, I believe, to take on certain levels of things, to support with certain things on the day, within reason, of course. So if it gets to a point where there's actually loads and loads for you to do and you're actually not stopping all day and relaxing or enjoying the day, they probably need some extra support, like a coordinator or an extra person at the venue to help with that. But within reason, you can absolutely ask your bridesmaids to support with certain things. And it could be simple things, right? Like, could you be in charge of making sure the speeches like go in the right order? Could you just hand the microphone to them and keep a track on the time? Like general like timekeeping on the day, just keep an eye on the time. Make sure we're like running on time for things. Have I got time to go to the toilet before this? Carry a few essentials, tissues, lipstick, a safety pin, mints, whatever. Like carry a few things for them so that they don't have to worry about that. You're likely going to be close to them within some vicinity on the day. Having someone there that's got those things for you is going to be super helpful. Perhaps you are asking your bridesmaids, one of them to be an MC because they're super confident, they've got a gorgeous voice, and you're like, could you just be our little speech person for the day and be like, okay, we are now going to welcome the new Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Can everybody move from this space to this space? We're about to sit down for the wedding breakfast. Come on, everybody, we're going to move over to the dance floor. Maybe that's the kind of person you want to ask one of your bridesmaids to be. Completely fine. Ask them, see if they're okay with it. Also understanding they could say no. They could say that's really not for me. Actually, I'd rather just be moving your reserved signs out or moving your welcome sign from one room to another. If they're not comfortable speaking out loud, that's fine. They can say no, but it's not an unreasonable task. A lot of the time I'll go to weddings where one of the groomsmen or the best man or a bridesmaid is being asked to be the MC and do all the little talky bits on the day and move guests from one place to another, announce you into rooms, things like that. And that's really fun. That's a nice way to include your bridesmaids in something as well. In general, on the day, if you are a bridesmaid, I just want you truly to protect the bride's energy. If someone's coming over and they're asking loads of questions, you can just say, sorry, she's not answering questions right now. We don't need the extra stress. Go and ask the venue. Go and ask someone else. They'll know the answer to the question. Protect her energy. If you feel like she's getting a little overwhelmed, keep an eye and be like, do you want to just go take 5 minutes? Are you feeling good? Be a friend. That's what I said just before. Be a friend on the day. We're not asking our bridesmaids to do the world here. And, you know, most brides in general aren't, that's not what you want anyway. You just want a friend. You want a friend to be there and support you in all the ways that you need on the day. And I think this is going to depend for each different kind of bride, right? As a bridesmaid, if I was being a bridesmaid for say like 4 or 5 different people, if I was, okay, I know that each of those different people, friend, family, or whoever they are that's getting married, needs something different from me. Some of them are more confident to handle things themselves and they're very type A, like myself, and they just kind of get on with things and they're like, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. They're organized. Some people actually would be really nervous and just need a bit of extra reassurance and like, babe, you've got this. It's all good. Some people need that extra support. Other people don't. Like, you know your friend, you know your family member, your sister, your cousin, whoever it is, you know what they need. So just be that person for them on the day. And I think remember that it's a really overwhelming day, as exciting as it is. All of the anticipation for the last year, 2 years building up to this day is so heightened and magnified. When it actually arrives, it's a lot. So be a friend. Just look out for them. What do they need? What might they need from me today? How can I support? How can I be of help? And ask them as well. Like, you don't always have to just psychic abilities to be able to guess. Ask them and be like, what do you need right now? Are you good? I know that you've had enough water. I know you've had enough to eat. Can I help with anything? Can I help you to feel better and less stressed or whatever? Communication in general in life is so, so important. So just ask the question, see what they need, what might be of assistance to them. And I think that's all we can really ask for from our people, really. Now, I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate. And I'm going to give you some tips for the bride and some tips for the bridesmaids. And they both kind of see each side of the story, okay? Because I feel like initially when you're asked to be a bridesmaid, there's always this like amazing, like, it's so lovely, it's such a nice feeling, it's so exciting. And the amount of times I see online, like the politics and the drama that's happening between a bride and her bridesmaids or the wedding party in general, it makes me so sad. Most of this comes down to unclear communication. Communicate, okay? As a bride, you need to communicate with your bridesmaids what you're asking of them, what's expected from them in terms of like a time commitment, in terms of money commitments, in terms of tasks you want them to do. Be clear and ask that. Don't just expect that they're going to know, because particularly if they are listening to this episode or you are listening to this episode, they might not have done it before. They might not know. They might have been a bridesmaid for a very different type of bride that didn't require or want a lot from them. And now you are actually saying, well, actually, I know what I need from you and I need a bit more reassurance, or I'd love some help with the tasks of crafting and things like that. And they might not know that you want that because they've not done it before. So be super clear up front. And this doesn't need to be like a big thing. I feel like when I say things like this, it sounds like it needs to be this whole big conversation, right? But just say like, I'd love for you to be my bridesmaid. I'm really going to be looking for help with like DIYing some of my crafts. I'd love for you to come to my dress appointments and generally just like hype me up. Like that's what I'm going to be looking for my bridesmaids. Just tell them that so they know and they can say, great. And maybe say, oh, I feel like I don't really have the time to help and support with crafts and stuff right now, but I'd love to come to your dress appointments, you know, if it falls on the right day. And of course, I will hype you up whenever I can. Okay. Clear communication. And I think this needs to start with the bride. I think this needs to start with the couple getting married because you know what you need and it's your day. Okay. So sometimes people don't want to overstep as well. I think that's something to remember. Don't assume that your bridesmaids are just being like a little bit ignorant or like not supportive. Maybe they just don't know, or maybe they just don't want to overstep. They're like, I don't want to, you know, overstep my place or cross any lines. Like, I'm sure she'll let me know if what she wants from me. Maybe it's that kind of scenario. On the same thread, I will also say, and this is not always what someone wants to hear, but your wedding day as a couple getting married is the most important to you. And as excited as everyone else might be for you, it's never going to be quite up to that level of importance and excitement for anyone else. So I think it's worth trying to understand that a little bit when you are being like so excited and you're like, oh, it doesn't feel like anyone's quite as excited as me. They're not going to be, okay? It's very normal. No one is like, they can be so excited for you in general, but they might not show that in the ways that you're expecting. I think this is something that can be quite hard for people to come to terms with. I feel like for myself, maybe I've got a different perspective because I am a wedding planner and I'm in the industry a lot, but like I get it. I'm obviously always very excited for people. I'm like, this is amazing. Tell me more. I want to know all the details. Sometimes people might not feel like they can do that. They might not have the capacity to. They might be going through their own things. Like everyone's like the main character in their own life, and I think that can be really hard sometimes to navigate. I think finding a balance there is really important. I think as a bridesmaid, we can be understanding we have our own things going on and also trying to be there that extra amount for our couple. And from the bride's perspective and the couple's perspective, also understanding that like, yeah, there's only so much I can expect from these people. But like I've said, if you can be clear from the beginning, this is what I'm hoping for my bridesmaids. I would love for you to plan my hen do. I would love for you to help with things where I can. I don't want anything like, I don't want you to worry about anything on the day, absolutely nothing on the day, apart from just reassuring me and helping me to stay calm. Be clear about what you're expecting from these people and what the time commitments or money commitments are. Money can be a really big thing when it comes to things like this. If you're expecting your bridesmaids to pay for anything, you need to be clear from that with everything from the get-go. A lot of drama comes from things like that. The amount of things I see on like those Facebook threads and things like that can be not so fun. So just be clear. Just be clear and respectful of what you're asking of them. And again, be a friend. It's really quite simple. Now, the tips for a bridesmaid from the other side of the coin. If your friend or your family member is planning a wedding, just understand that planning a wedding is stressful and it's exciting, but there's a lot that goes into it. So be supportive, ask the questions, check in with them and see how they're getting on, be excited for them, offer to help, all the things we've really talked about. And remember that it's their day, not anyone else's. So if you have opinions that you think, I don't like that, oh no, I wouldn't do that, oh, I don't think I like that, if they are genuinely super excited about it and they love it, keep your mouth shut. Okay, just say, oh, I love that, amazing, you look so happy. That's all you need to say and move on. It's not anybody else's day but theirs, and it should be about celebrating their love story. Okay, I know it can be hard when you're going through your own things in life, but ultimately it should just be a fun thing. It doesn't always need to be so serious. Let's just celebrate the love and have a nice time and be supportive where we can. I find that most of my couples come to me like for wedding planning support and they are feeling stressed and overwhelmed. So I feel like that's something I feel like I get a lot from the wedding side of things. Whenever someone says they're getting married, I'm like, oh, you must be so overwhelmed, because most people just feel that kind of like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do and I want it to go so well and I'm really worried that it's not going to go well. So I get that like anxiety side of things, and I feel like I'm extra cautious and extra on top of it whenever I'm like, oh, I need to check in with them, I need to make sure they're good, or I need to like listen when they want to talk to me about something, because I know how important it is to them. again, not everyone's going to know if you don't know many people that have got married yet, or you're kind of just coming into that season of life where there's lots of weddings happening. There's not a lot to it. I think it's just remembering that like you're making memories together, and if they've asked you to be with them on the day, it's a really big honor, and it's a really nice way to celebrate them, to strengthen your relationship, to make more memories. So just enjoy the process, and just it's one day to just be there for them and make it the best day of their lives. And what a privilege. Ultimately, as we're kind of rounding things up, there is a balance to be found, right? And a balance from the bride side, the couple, and with the bridesmaids. Find that balance, communicate so clearly expectations. If there's something you feel like you're not going to be able to fulfill in your role as a bridesmaid, tell them that, communicate, talk about it. Like, these are your friends or family that you love for a reason. So don't be afraid to have those conversations. I talk about communication so much in the wedding planning process with my couples, and how important it is for them to talk to each other and communicate and be really clear and hold their own boundaries and all these things. The same applies with your wedding party, whether it's bridesmaids, whether it's groomsmen, whether it's just your parents or whatever it might be. Communicate. It's so, so important. It doesn't need to be a big deal. Hopefully these are people you feel like you can trust and talk to freely. If you're just saying, I'm really struggling to have the time to maybe come and help with things, or I'm really sorry I'm not going to be able to make it to your dress fitting, but I would love to come over another day and see you try it on. And I think that would be amazing and really fun. And I'd love to do that with you. Is there another way I can come and help? Is there something else I can come to that I can be involved in? Be a friend. I feel like that's the phrase of today's episode, be a friend. That's all that being a bridesmaid really is. It's just being that support. So enjoy the process, be there for them. Weddings are so much fun. Weddings are just full of love, and they are gorgeous and wonderful and amazing. So yeah, enjoy that process. But like I say, communication is key. I will say that most of the issues I hear with brides and bridesmaids falling out, having misunderstandings, all comes from being unclear about what's expected and what the bride is wanting from them. So I think within reason, sometimes you get the odd bride that you're like, oh, you are asking for a lot. But most of the time, it's just that it hasn't been communicated on what they want, what kind of person they are, and what they're wanting from this experience. So talk it out. I will say for the brides, don't be afraid to ask for help. I know that sometimes you feel like you're asking too much of people, but actually, if you can say, well, normally we go and we try and go out shopping once a month, me and my friend, or we try and do this once a month as a friend. Maybe you can say, do you mind for just this once? We could do this instead. That's like, you come over and help me with my wedding stuff, or you guys can all come over and we can try on some bridesmaids dresses, whatever it might be. You don't need to ask for extra time from them. Maybe you're just swapping out what you normally do for something else. But also, it's okay to ask. I say in general, even if it's not your bridesmaids, I say it all the time, ask for help, whether it's like a friend, a family member, that you can just be like, can you just help me with this? Can you just help me decide on this? Like, we can't decide as a couple. I would love your opinion. Or can you help me craft these things? Or can you help me find the perfect paper for our invitations? Whatever it might be. Ask for help. This is a process that usually as well, I know we've talked about all of some of the negatives in this episode, but usually people want to help. People love helping people, and it makes them feel good to help. So people want to have that input on the wedding, to be able to say, yeah, I helped with that and it was so much fun. So ask for help. Don't be afraid to just say, would you mind, or what's your capacity to help me with this? I think there's nothing wrong with that. And from the perspective of a bridesmaid, know that if you are supporting and helping your friends through this, they are very likely to return the favor and support and help you when it gets to your turn of getting married as well, if that is something you choose to do. So, it swings and roundabouts. You kind of put in all this effort as a bridesmaid to support them, and then when your turn comes around, they will be there to support you in any big life things that you go through as well. So I think that's the beauty of it in creating these relationships. Weddings are beautiful because you are celebrating the love of a couple, but I think in general, being able to strengthen your bonds and relationships with your family and friends as well is a really beautiful thing, to make those memories and to reminisce on times you spent together, or any of those things. I think, yeah, it's really lovely. I love a wedding. Don't know if you can tell. But yeah, I'm going to round this up here. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any more questions about the process, or maybe you have a specific dilemma or something that you're wondering about, please feel free to message me. As I always say, my DMs are always open. If you are a bride, I hope this has helped you. If you're a bridesmaid listening, I hope this has helped you. Feel free to share this around with people that you think it might be helpful for. If someone's like, oh my gosh, you've asked me to be a bridesmaid and I don't know what to do. Like, what do you want from me? then maybe listening to this episode might help them. Or maybe you have someone that's, just got engaged and you can think, oh my gosh, when you choose your bridesmaids, this will be so helpful for you. So send it to a bride, whatever, share it around, the more the merrier. And as always, I am so grateful for you listening. So I hope this has been helpful. We release new episodes every Wednesday. I say we, I mean me. It is a one-man band over here, but thank you so much for listening. There will be a new episode next week. This was episode, did I say at the start? Episode 46. So close to a year's worth of episodes, and I just couldn't be more excited. So thank you for listening. I'm grateful for you all. I will be back in your ears next week. And until then, happy planning. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast. I hope you're feeling inspired and excited to create your dream wedding day and those lasting memories. Don't forget to hit that follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. I'll be back next Wednesday with more tips, advice, and inspiration. In the meantime, don't be a stranger. Come and find me on Instagram and TikTok at Your Wedding Unlimited, where I share even more wedding ideas and behind-the-scenes insights. You can also watch these episodes on YouTube at Your Wedding Unlimited. And if you're looking for even more support, come and join my private Facebook group, Your Wedding Unlimited. It's an amazing community of fun and authentic engaged couples, packed with extra tips, advice, and insights to guide you along your journey. If you have any questions or need more info, you can DM me or send me an email at yourweddingunlimitedpodcast@gmail.com. All links and details will be in the show notes. Until next time, happy planning!